And we're live.
We've said it before on the show, and it's like there's nothing wrong with owning historical artifacts, obviously. Like, you have a Luger or some gun that a Nazi carried. That's pretty fucking cool. That's a piece of history, a literal piece of history. Like, what you don't want is to be a guy who only collects Nazi stuff. Be a World War II guy. Be like,
yes.
Look at this.
Balance it out.
Look at this Japanese, really weird. Look, they put a magazine on top. Isn't that crazy? And it's circular, you know? And then look at this Luger, this German piece of engineering. So cool. Instead of like, welcome to the Nazi room.
Yeah. I think Nazi stuff might be more I have historic British, American, Japanese, and Russian like guns.
You got to get a German one rounded out, man.
They must be expensive or something. There must be a reason that I don't have like.
I mean, they literally made better guns than everyone else in World War II, so it makes more sense to be more desired.
Oh, I don't like to believe that American guns weren't as good.
No, we got like I was.
We did beat them.
We did beat them, but it was by like sheer numbers. Like, I was reading this really interesting thing. This was years and years ago. And a friend of mine who was in the military turned me on to it because he was talking about World War II tactics and stuff. And I was saying the same thing you were, Woody, where I was like, dude, we butt fucked him. We won. He's like,
yeah, 1911 was cool.
Look up the equivalent of the kill death ratio in World War II and look at what divisions are the best. And I was like, okay.
That's not fair. Russia was stomping. They were like,
no, it wasn't Russia. It was Germany.
Germany ran up their numbers by hanging out in Russia.
Damn it! I didn't think of that point.
Yeah,
when we were having talk, you might be right. I don't know if they were counting like civilian deaths or what, but like it didn't make us look good. Like, especially, I think his name is Rommel, the guy who was in Northern Africa, who like everybody respected as a very brilliant not journalist, fucking general, where I think Kyle's talked about this, where he like manufactured a charge towards a much superior numerically enemy in order to build big, huge clouds of dust behind him so that they would think a much larger force was storming towards them. And like they retreated. And that's something that was brought up. But
it's like a feint in boxing.
The Desert Fox was what he was called. Super successful. I want to say D-Day would have gone down differently if Rommel hadn't been like either on vacation or injured. I don't remember which it was, but it was one or the other. Like he was either back home with his wife or something like that. And that's why, like,
yeah, dude, if Rommel was there, we probably wouldn't have been in big trouble because like he and Patton are referred to as like the top military tactic generals at the time.
Yeah, I don't know about Patton.
Really?
As much.
I don't know about any of them.
Patton had gotten into so much trouble with the War Department. Like, I want to say maybe it was part of D-Day, where they assigned Patton somewhere way off, somewhere else, as a diversionary tactic because the Germans believed him to be our greatest general, and they were like, "Well, they got Patton over here. There's no way they're going over there." And like maybe and I know they had a lot of PR issues with Patton. Have you ever seen the movie Patton with George C. Scott?
Yeah, it's a good where it opens
and winners.
Where he walks out on the stage with his his crop or whatever,
his riding crop and those bloused pants.
Yeah, he looks really cool.
Come back.
That movie's like 4 hours long or something absurd.
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up. It's 172 minutes. 1969.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as good as Lord of the Rings. So
he didn't believe in PTSD. He thought those men were cowards. He'd slap them around.
Well, back then it wasn't called PTSD. It was called shell-shocked. Yep.
It's called being a pussy.
It's called being a pussy, and you're not standing up to what you need to do, soldier. It's like, my nerves are frayed and destroyed, General. I need to go home, please. I'm going to have lifelong problems with forming and trusting people because of what you've done.
They covered shell shock really well in Band of Brothers. Like, you'd see people kind of like guys who they went from kind of rookies or maybe just good to great to like somehow over the hill courage wise, not with it anymore. Just a little.
Well, yeah, you
worn
saw
out.
that in I think it's the Bastogne episode of that show where the guy who was previously like a very strong, like, look to him, he'll lead us.
He's blonde, right?
The blonde guy, exactly. I don't recall his name, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And like, but I remember seeing that episode for the first time, and part of me was like, wait, no, this is a strong character. No, this isn't how it's supposed to go. And then like it's kind of like, no one is so strong that they're resilient to these things. Like
I felt like it led up to that. Like previous episodes showed him not as great as he had been.
That's true. Yeah, it does show him leading up and kind of getting jaded. Maybe jaded's not the right word, but I guess, you know,
Ted wasn't in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had kind of become disenfranchised with whatever mission they had, and was more like, this is hell. War is hell.
5 miles up, 5 miles down.
What a great fuck, Karahi! And the guy
David Schwimmer,
the guy from Friends.
He killed that role.
He did so well. I was not to say that he played that, because as I'm watching it, I'm like, I fucking hate you, David Schwimmer.
Yeah, and you're supposed to. They got me too. They hooked me into really disliking and not respecting him. You know, and when Colonel Winters was like, hey, you know, we salute the uniform, not the man, or something like that, or the rank, not the man. And it's like, he needed to be told that? The fuck? You know, like he was being a baby, and like, I don't know. The fact that I'm upset right now is a testament to how well he killed that role.
Yeah,
he did great. He did great. The same way that like you can, I mean, I was going to use Joffrey as an example, but frankly, Ramsay swept in and stole his thunder as far as like those kind of characters that are easily hateable in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but Joffrey was so snotty. Like you hated him, and it's a different kind of hate. Like
you didn't respect him.
Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay's
scary.
A psycho.
Joffrey, because you could beat the shit out of Joffrey.
Yeah.
But Ramsay is gonna like come at y'all shirtless in a corridor with a blade in each hand.
Yeah, he'll cut your toes off.
And he might come in his pants if you stab him. Like he's such a fucking weirdo.
Joffrey never earned anything he had. Joffrey was completely undeserving of all that power.
And Ramsay earned everything he had.
That is actually very true. You're changing my mind. It's very true.
Oh, Ramsay was a freaking amazing villain. Like I feel like
both were.
Joffrey and Ramsay?
Both were great villains.
Yeah. Like Joffrey
in different ways. Yeah, in different ways.
I hated Joffrey. I really hated Joffrey. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, what am I going to do without Joffrey to hate? Joffrey, like, he was so perfect. And the actor retired.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't like being an actor.
He decided to go to medical school instead.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. He's a very smart guy. I remember watching some interview a long time ago because I was like, I need to see an interview with this kid so I don't just irrationally hate him forever. And I watched it, and he was like, they're like, what do you think about everyone hating Joffrey? And it was just a nice kid. Like, you know, I really, if anything, it speaks to how well I'm playing the part. Like, I'm supposed to be hated, and so that's, you know, it's a good thing. And they're like, you don't want to continue acting? He's like, no, I think I'm going to pursue higher education instead. Like something to that.
He's semi-retired, apparently. It says that he's independent theater, and he's in a movie right now, or he's in a series on BBC. That's about it.
Oh, okay.